for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, looks like public comment is not an issue this evening, so let's take a look at minutes. June 14th, which is just our really information saying we were at the annual town meeting and a quorum was present.
I move we accept that meeting minutes.
I second that. Further discussion, hearing none. Those in favor?
Right?
Aye. July 5.
Wasn't there.
So we'll have to
Wait
table
for,
those.
we'll wait for John either next time or whatever, so the same thing for the 5th. July 21st, when we were working on issues relative to the parking lot, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
and we were all present then.
Just taking a minute to look at
Sure.
it. I don't see anything in here that states that we said it's going out to, for bid.
And it has gone out to bid.
Right, but the minutes don't reflect.
Or would you like to make a recommendation to adjust the minutes to indicate that there was a motion to go to bid if it was, after investigation it was necessary? You wanna just hold off?
The other ones, because they're gonna reflect exactly how we discussed it, because we did move and discuss
Okay.
putting it to bid, so it should reflect it.
We'll just go, when John gets back, we can talk about that, but the project is out to bid, with bids due on the 18th of August. And so, moving on to reports, Jessica, Town Administrator Report?
Thank you. I would like to make you aware that National Night Out is tomorrow night at Quabbin Regional at the middle high school from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Everybody's going to be out there setting up around 4 p.m. And it is Q Drug's effort to bring all 5 towns in the Quabbin district together. So there will be representation from Barre, Hardwick, Hubbardston, Ocam, New Braintree, and I think that's all 5 towns. So we'll have basically the fire departments, police departments, there should be some DPW trucks out there, as well as various other organizations within the community to, promote their mission and offer some. I think there's going to be a couple raffles that I've seen floating around, so it'll be a really good.
Who's organizing that?
Q Drug.
Q Drug?
Yes, Q Drug, who is working out of Quabbin.
Okay.
So National Night Out it's a nationally recognized event. So a lot of communities in Massachusetts partake, and I know that there should be, as long as weather is cooperative, there should be a flyover from the state police as well. So just a fun night, especially if you have young kids, to go out and be able to see the ambulances, fire trucks, police cruisers, DPW trucks, etc. And staying on the theme of first response, last week I met with Rutland Regional Emergency Communication Center. That is our dispatch. I had a meeting with all of the other town administrators and their Board of Selectmen representatives in Rutland to discuss how we can operationally improve the dispatch for our member towns. And at the end of that meeting, we all agreed to revisit the IMA, which is the agreement between the dispatch and the towns. And that we will be working in a working group together to make recommendations for changes to just improve the processes and make it more inclusive of the needs of all of the communities. We don't have any intention of changing the model of the district, but we just want to revisit the IMA. Elections are on the agenda tonight, and I was going to discuss a little bit about some changes that happened at the state level that we have to deal with at the local level. So early voting hours are a requirement to all elections, including local elections, as well as offering mail-in voting for all voters. So you all probably have received, just as I have, a little postcard in the mail saying that you can get your ballot for mail-in voting. So Ellen, our town clerk, is dealing with a lot of the elections and all of these changes, and what the select board, basically what you have to do is approve the date and times for early voting for September 6th, and as well as the times and locations for the elections themselves. So the primary is September 6th, the actual election is November 8th. And then something else that is a little bit different than in years past is that the select board is required to authorize a police detail for the elections on September 6th and November 8th, which is something that was never a requirement before. Usually it was just the town clerk went to the police chief and requested a police detail, but this time the select board, and from here on out, the select board will have to authorize a police detail. We don't have any names or a schedule at this point, but I just need you all to authorize that for the upcoming election.
Just to let you know that in your packet, there is a comprehensive sheet of motions that we need to move this evening in order to get things prepared for the election, the primary and regular elections in November. So
Yes.
that we'll be dealing with that later in the agenda.
Yes, and
Okay.
Ellen was so helpful for writing out the language that you need to proceed with the motions.
Mhm.
Moving forward in my report, I received a letter from our master mechanic, James DeRocher, who
That's sad.
is retiring in March. I am so appreciative that he is giving us such a heads up, so we can make sure everything's in order for him to have a happy retirement. And also this advance notification will allow us to seek a replacement sooner rather than later and hopefully get some overlap, because I know that James has done quite a bit of work for the town, and he's done a lot of the rebuilding of certain vehicles, and he knows how to work on these older vehicles that we have. So that's valuable knowledge that I hope we do not lose entirely.
Certainly, as we, certainly accept his idea to retire, we do so with great sort of thanks for all of the work he's done, but also sadness that he will be leaving the employ of the town. He
Yes.
has done extraordinary work for us for many years.
Yes.
Would you make sure that he gets some sort of a letter from us
Oh,
indicating?
yes. Yes. I'm sure there will be some celebration come March when
I hope so.
he
Okay.
officially retires. There will be. Moving forward, last week I met with MassDOT on the replacement of Old Colebrook Road Bridge, which this is the bridge that is right before Felton Field and Palmer Paving. So last week I basically just attended a very early stages visioning meeting where they were starting to discuss what the needs of the bridge are. The state will be doing the full replacement of the bridge, probably not for another 6 years, but they have to start at some point, and bridge replacement takes a very long time. So I was able to attend that meeting. I didn't really have much of a role in the meeting other than they had a couple of high-level questions related to the sidewalks that are currently present on the bridge And, you know, if the community is gonna continue to need those sidewalks, which we will, as it is presented in our complete streets plan, to have sidewalks in that area. So I did request that we keep sidewalks on that bridge, because eventually the goal will be to build out sidewalks in that area down there. So some other things that they talked about was if they were how they were gonna keep the flow of traffic, where they might redirect traffic, very early stages of discussing different routes. And of course, the biggest issue is gonna be that Palmer paving plant being right there. They have, you know, larger than normal vehicles that they have to be moving around, and some of the roads in that area get kind of narrow. So when you think about a detour, you know, they are thinking about how to best detour those big paving vehicles. So the Ruggles Lane parking lot, I submitted the bid last week, with the bid opening date of August 18th, and the expectation that this project will be completed before September 30th. So this will run into issues with the schools being open, before the sidewalk or the parking lot is completed. But that's just the way that the cards are playing right now. I mean, there's a small chance that if we contract with somebody on August 18th, they could get it done that next week, but I don't think there's a very large chance of that happening. ARPA, getting back to the ARPA conversation, I'm almost finished with the presentation of all of the requests from the departments and residents from that survey that we submitted, published a couple of months ago. And I am requesting that we have a special meeting just to discuss how we plan on investing these funds in September. The police department received both a Stetson grant and a Maya Health grant to build out their workout room for the police, fire, and EMS personnel. So they have $10,000 roughly to build out that workout room. I did find out about the Maya grant today, so that's why I'm adding it in now. And we are appreciative of Stetson's partnership with the department to get this done. And the employees are very excited. That's what that should say. The employees are very excited that this is going to become a reality. From the fire department, the fire chief sent engine 5 from South Barre to the town of Hardwick for a couple of days. And this is because both of Hardwick's fire department's engines are broken. Their main fire engine needs a head gasket repair, and their second engine is out of service due to mechanical issues. And they do not have any fire engines of their own. So, but in the event that Barre has any reported fires, Hardwick will respond immediately to that fire with our fire truck. So our fire response will not change. And also ambulance 2, which is our new ambulance, is going back to the dealer to have some warranty work done, which will leave it out of service for a couple of days. And Rutland is letting us borrow their third ambulance while ours is out for repairs. So our service will also remain unchanged at the MS level. And lastly, the 250th anniversary committee, they sent me an email over the weekend requesting permission to advertise their fall fair on September 17th through signage around town. So they're just looking for some basic approval from you guys on that.
Thank you, Jessica. Greg, any questions relative to the report?
No.
Okay, I think we're ready to move on. Then Selectmen Reports. Greg, you have any issues of concern you'd like to?
Just had a email from somebody asking about 45 Wilton Road. Had a fire, I don't know, probably about 3 months, 2-3 months back.
So Wilton?
Wilton, yeah.
Wilton?
They're wondering if the town is going to or is in the position to take any steps on that, and I said I would look into it. I would doubt we are. As far as I know, it's someone's home that burned down and find out how they take action.
Oh.
You know, I'm not sure of the condition of it. Maybe we should ask the building inspector or
Mhm.
health departments to look at it and make sure it doesn't need some kind of attention.
Okay.
And, you know, we just.
Is Wilton Road, Greg, the one that's right up by
Right,
Douglas
right
Lane?
across from the school, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's a fire up there, weird hour in the morning,
Yeah.
apparently the people called the fire and then left,
Oh,
as I understand.
okay, so,
Don't know.
so the building inspector would be the person to take a look at that?
Yeah, determine if it's structurally sound or unsound, or, you know, the health, the Board of Health as well, if there's any, you know, risk to the town itself, or any people that might be out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then if need be, we could take action and order some type of cleanup or something of the
Mhm.
property. That's one way to get the ball rolling, is
Yeah.
order them to
Okay.
make it safe. And if they don't, then we can take action and put a lien on the property for those costs.
Mhm.
But the last thing to do is just make sure that we don't have any action going against the property. I don't know that we do.
No, no,
I
no.
did promise I would look into it, so that's.
So you will,
Yep.
take-
Yeah,
Take
I'll
care
go,
of it.
I'll look into it.
and be prepared for a report to the board on the 18th?
Yeah. I could email you guys when I have a
Okay.
response to you. That might be
That's
easier.
fine.
Yeah.
You know, we wouldn't need to address it till our next
Yeah.
meeting anyways, I don't think.
Fine.
If there's something that the building inspector or the Board of Health think should be covered, they would
Let
take
us know.
action on
They'll
their
do
own.
it,
But
yeah.
they
Yeah.
don't need us
Right,
to do that. And we could certainly only take action if they ignore that timeline, because then we could authorize,
Mhm.
you know, municipal funds to take care of it and put a lien on the property.
yeah.
I'm not sure of how that process goes exactly, but I know it is
And we don't,
achievable.
and we don't know where the person who owns the property is at this time?
I don't
I don't.
personally, but
Yeah, okay.
I'd heard
Okay,
that they haven't been seen, but
okay, I have is that what you got?
that's
You
it.
done?
That's
Okay,
it.
I've got just a request from the Barre Library Association to work with the fire department to utilize the ladder truck on August 11th for a chimney inspection. I know that has been
By who?
by the library. The library needs
Why
to,
are they directing things to the fire chief?
well, they probably thought they should direct it to the board. So,
Well.
anyway, either
I
way.
would- I would say that with a strong chief, we have no control over
Okay.
what he does with his personnel.
Well, I know that he's, I don't know if he's gonna be in town.
I am very confident that the fire department would gladly go do that for the
Okay.
town building,
Yeah.
But it's not.
Well,
within
as
our
I say,
purview to-
I know that I
direct that.
certainly can, when is the chief going to be leaving?
He left on Saturday and he's
Okay.
probably not gonna be back till the end of August.
Okay, so for the deputy chief then,
Yeah.
okay, just
Does
let
that
him
mean
know.
they have an inspector coming, or they
Yes,
expect, I
yes,
was gonna say, because
yeah.
they won't inspect it and
No,
give them,
they just
be
wanna get up
responsible
there.
for it. That shouldn't be a problem. I
Okay.
would think if they contact James or Deputy Chief Fritcher, they would certainly,
Okay.
I would believe, consent to that.
And then, on, another thing that I just have is that I'd like to move our second August meeting to the 18th, which is a Thursday evening, for the purposes of having the capacity to execute or award the bid for the Ruggles Lane parking lot, should all the information and necessary paperwork be ready to go.
Is the 18th approval,
Yes.
or do you need time to
Well,
push it out to Monday?
Well, I asked Jessica that, but her issue of concern was it's a very straightforward, very simple bid. It's not a lot of work
Right.
we'll have to do if we get 2 or 3 bidders, it's pretty straightforward. So we should be ready to award on the 18th.
Okay, did you look into the previous bids we had when we were getting our prices for the year? Because as I recall, there was someone that had bid, I thought, much lower than others, but they were small unknown companies, so we didn't want to pick them up for our road work. I wanted to make sure they were included and invited to, did you find them and
Yep.
invite them? Okay, good. Because this would be a perfect project for a smaller company,
Mm.
where it's someone we might not award them a bid for all the roads,
Mhm.
because you don't
Yeah.
understand whether or not they can actually complete that much work.
Yeah,
But this
well,
would be
we're
within their purview.
we're hopeful that we get some good interest and some good bids,
And
but,
I'm noticing that we have 2 different days here. Oops, I'm sorry. I'll get it, man, don't worry. We have the 16th and the 17th for these different events.
These are,
From the 250th?
yeah, from 2024.
So these are, okay, that's why I was.
Yeah,
That's
they're,
right.
Because you said 17th earlier, I thought it said 16th here, so they want to advertise for the,
For
so
some-
they want to advertise for the fall fair that's coming up on September 17th, I believe it is.
Yeah.
which is next year.
Yeah, which is, now.
No, this
now.
is next,
That's the 16th.
Next
that's what it
month.
says, that's what I'm saying.
or maybe it's the 16th. It's whatever the fall fair is next
One
month.
says the 16th, and the next page says next year, the 17th of next year, so.
But
Yeah.
what he's doing,
Those are each
he's
year.
asking for
He's doing one-
in advance
one-
now.
Right, but
He's
so
gonna have
he's
one of
asking for the
these every year.
16th this year then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's,
Right,
I
and
might
then the
have- yeah, I might have.
24th.
well, the-
Okay, I just
see-
heard the 17th.
Yeah,
so-
I may
See,
have
this one
gotten
is
it
for
way
next
off.
year, and then there's
No,
one
that's,
for the 24th.
that's this year, and that's for next year, yeah. Next year is the 17th, but this year will be the 16th. Just
Well,
making sure
okay.
we clarify that
But see,
date we talked
This
about.
isn't this year, it's the 22nd this year.
Oh, my goodness.
You are rushing the
He's-
calendar.
He's reserving it now.
Now.
to
For
save us.
next year and the
Yes.
year after.
Yes,
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
2024 is our big year.
yes, it
Yes.
is. We're-
yeah.
Gotcha.
So they're just being proactive.
Yeah, they just,
They're being very proactive.
Oh, they got a parcel of things in there for us tonight to look at.
That clears up that.
Yeah,
I'm thinking,
Well,
oh,
yeah.
23 is this coming year? No, this is 22.
okay, any correspondence other than, I mean, we can handle the 250th events later in the agenda.
I did receive a letter from the Conservation Commission today that they issued a cease and desist on any work being done on Stetson Road until the DPW files a notice of intent for conservation related issues.
Favorite road.
Well, for their issue is there's been some work with trees and drainage and so forth on edges of roads that should have, from their perspective, been addressed through the Conservation Commission. So,
I guess there's a 150-foot buffer on either side of the road, because it is on wetlands.
Right.
There's that whole section of wetlands, so.
The road itself typically is much wider than we actually pave, so what's considered the roadway is.
Our right of way.
Our
It should be
right-of-way.
150 from the right of way.
I haven't spoken to Jason, but Jason sent information to me indicating that he felt it was just a matter of doing an NOI, a notice of, information, so.
That's all
hopefully-
they're requesting.
Hopefully, if that's all they're requesting, it probably is perfunctory rather
Right.
than anything really
I
significant.
can't imagine it would be.
Yeah,
Typically, when you pave the road, if we have the right of way that's, it's say typically 40 feet, the asphalt may be 30,
yeah,
and you have
Yeah.
5-foot leeway
Yeah.
on either side or something like that, so if you need to cut trees back or do
Yeah.
things like that, it's
Yeah.
typically done in the roadway. And I can't imagine we'd need much.
well,
consent
hopefully,
to
it's
work within
just,
the roadway.
it's just a matter of getting the paperwork into the Conservation Commission. But right now, they've put a cease and desist on it, so work through that.
All right.
Okay, correspondence, nothing, new business under elections. This is the election worksheet. Did you get a chance to take a look at that?
I did.
We do have information, and it's presented quite specifically for us, and indicating that we have to have the following motion to approve the in-person early voting location to be 40 West Street for the September 6th and November 8th, 2022 state elections for the following hours. On September 6th, in-person early voting, Saturday, August 27th, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Tuesday, August 30th, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., Wednesday, August 31st, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., Thursday, September 1st, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., Friday, September 2nd, 9 a.m. to 12 noon. And for the elections on November 8th, 2022, in-person early voting hours to be Saturday, October 22nd, 8 a.m. to noon, Tuesday, October 25th, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., Wednesday, October 26th, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., Thursday, October 27th, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., Saturday, October 29th, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Tuesday, November 1st, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Wednesday, November 2nd, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., Thursday, November 3rd, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Friday, November 4th, 9 a.m. to 12 noon. That is a lot of early voting hours for our town officials to handle, and I'm just so pleased that Ellen has done so much organizational work that makes our efforts to make this all happen pretty easy. She also indicates that action is requested in response to changes made in Section 72 of Mass General Law 54, which now charges the Select Board rather than
Can we do
person
this?
in charge of the
Can we
police
drop that
force.
first one and then read the good?
Sure.
I would make a motion that we approve the in-person early voting to be held here at 40 West Street for the September 6th and November 6th, 2022 state elections for the hours and days that were just covered by the chairman.
Second? Seems like it's a done deal. Those in favor?
Aye?
Aye. Moving on to the police
We get that
officers.
since we already just covered it.
Yeah, okay. The action is requested in response to the changes in Section 72 of Mass General Laws 54 that now charges the Select Board rather than person in charge of the police force with detailing a sufficient number of police officers or constables for each polling location. I recommend the following action, and there's the motion.
To that, I would move that we approve a sufficient number of police officers, but not less than one, at the polling location at every election therein, the premises order, and to protect the election officers and supervisors from any interference with their duties, and to aid in enforcing the laws relating to the elections as required by Section 72 of Mass General Law, Chapter 54, which was changed in Section 13 of Chapter 92 of the Acts of 2022. Further move to designate the police chief as the authority to assign specific police officers according to scheduling and availability. The town clerk will advise the police chief on the location and time the officer is needed.
I would second that motion. And any further discussion? Hearing none. Those in favor?
Aye?
Aye. Moving on to the approval and sign of a primary warrant. There is a motion there. I can do that one if you
Did I
want.
miss it?
Yeah, to approve the September 6th state primary warrant and locations as prepared and presented by the town clerk. And those are included in the document as presented to us.
It's those long documents.
Yeah.
Just wasn't highlighted
Yeah.
before, that's all. Okay, I'll second the motion.
Hearing further discussion, hearing none. Those in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
I assume we have another warrant
Okay, I
for
think,
November, is that coming later?
That'll come at a later date,
Okay.
because those ballots aren't finalized yet. They won't be finalized until after September 6th.
okay.
And then the only
Now,
other thing is
let's get
the
back to appointments.
election worker appointments.
We need to appoint these first separate two of the whole list.
Just the whole, I would
Are these-
recommend you say,
As presented?
Are the
yes,
new,
as presented.
are the new people on this list, is what I'm saying, there's 2 or 3 new ones in here, or one? Who is
Yes.
there? Christina Elizabeth, just one new worker then. Get that right before we do it, make sure she's in there.
Yeah.
Who are you looking for?
The brand-new person is...
Christina?
Yeah.
Yes, she's
Christina-
her,
Christina Portman.
Okay, so here are the election appointment lists as recommended by the...
town clerk.
Yeah, she's here. Top of the page there.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I make a motion, we approve the 22-23 election worker appointment list as outlined here in front of us.
Second that. All those in favor?
Aye?
Aye. And our thanks to the town clerk for the
Made that
work
easy.
in putting all of this election stuff easy for us to understand and easy for us to take action on. Okay. It looks now that we will be, okay, police deal appointments are set, election warrant is set. Special events, the 250th anniversary, and there's a very lengthy number of events that have been requested, the dates and places by the committee. And they have done a lot of work to put paperwork together for us and to do events for this year in 2022, in 2023, and in 2024. They're trying to lock down dates, is what is indicated in the letter from Richard Stevens, who is the chairman, He writes, "The 250th Committee is submitting these events approval requests well in advance of the actual dates. We need to mail letters out inviting many larger entities that book well in advance of 2 years. In order to provide a great 250th anniversary celebration, we need to secure the requested dates now. There will be many meetings well in advance of these events with the appropriate department heads. Much planning will need to occur together in order to provide these safe and meaningful events. We welcome all your input as we plan these events and look forward to your assistance with our town's birthday celebration." Again, there is a packet of materials submitted by the 250th Committee, and we will look for a motion to approve the requests. Either we can do them individually, or we can do them as a group if we have, feel that we have done our due diligence to already review them.
Jessica, how thoroughly have you gone through these applications to make sure they are checked off?
We've made sure that every department has checked off in their respective
Okay.
boxes.
So we'll just go through, I'd rather just go through one at a time.
Sure.
You have some notes in some of them, I think.
Typically, the Board of Health puts a note that they will need certain inspections done a week prior to the event, or,
So need an electric permit required for what? Generator? All right, so we'll just start with, I'll try to get them in order. I would make a motion that we approve the 250th celebration food truck and craft fair on September 16th, 2023, provided they comply with the notes listed by the relevant departments within their application.
We'll second that motion. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next one here.
Next one is the Founder's Day.
I'd make a motion that we approve the special event for the 250th Committee of Founders Day on June 17th of 2024. Once again, provided they comply with the notes from the respective departments within them.
I will second that. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're back to a food truck.
Here we go.
2024.
I make a motion we approve the special event of the 250th Celebration Food Truck and Craft Fair for September 14th, 2024, as long as they comply with the notes from the specific departments.
I'll second that motion. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is this our last one, or is there another one after this? After this, okay. I'll make a motion that we approve the 250th Celebration Parade to take place on September 21st, 2024, provided, once again, they comply with any notes from the departments covered in the application.
I'll second that motion. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And now, lastly, make a motion to approve the 250th Celebration Fireworks Show on September 21st, 2024, providing that they comply with all the notes from the personnel described in their application.
I would second that motion. Those in favor?
Aye.
And with our thanks to the 250th anniversary for their continued hard work on this project. We have another event, which is the Worcester County
And
4-H Fair, I believe.
When we do get, as we've discussed before, and I want to say it on camera again, they've been fundraising, it's going to rely heavily on some funds from the town.
Yes,
We're
it
going
is.
to have to kick in substantially to have the events that they want, the things they plan to do. You know, I've tried to assure the committee to the best that I can, that I will do everything that I can to help them get the funds they need for it. I think the town will be willing to do that. And we're gonna try to break it down over a couple different payments.
Yes.
And I would think the way to do that would be to assure that in special town meeting this year that we do allocate some funds
I agree.
for the committee, and then depending on our free cash status and how we're sitting next spring in the ATM, that we bring the funds up there and try to get them where they need to be to make sure we can fund this and have the celebration that the town wants and deserves for 250 years.
Okay, moving on, another special event request for approval, Worcester County 4-H Fair.
And I see once again, they have all sorts of sign-offs here. They do have recommendations. They're planning pretty large tents in some cases, and they have paid their fees, so I'll make a motion to approve the special event for the Worcester County 4-H Fair on August 26th through 28th, provided they comply with the notes from the department heads within the application.
I will second that motion. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, I think we are at wage authorization for personnel, and we are looking at a new hire, Russell Ward, DPW truck driver, skilled laborer. The recommendation from the department head, Jason Fermento.
I make a motion that we approve Russell Ward for the position of DPW at $20.79 per hour, full-time job.
I will second that motion. Those in favor?
Aye. We have a
Oh.
list of annual appointments.
We do.
For Joy,
Well, the police chief did drop off a new part-time officer wage authorization today to me, so I did add that in. It didn't make it into the packet, but
Oh,
I think it's on the agenda. Is it?
it's wage authorization?
No.
No.
No? Okay.
Wait,
unless it's in the back, stuck in. No.
No, I don't think so. It came pretty late today, but I didn't see any need to wait.
I make a motion, we approve the new hire for part-time patrolman, $22.15 an hour, which would be Zachary Warner.
Warner.
I will second that motion. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Probably need to sign it.
you can sign that later.
I don't sign them anymore. Okay,
Okay, we have a,
Common Vic,
yeah, we have a
for
bachelor's
the appointments first, the appointments for boards and committees.
as presented.
Yes, we have a list of reappointments and then a short list of new appointments.
Okay,
So the reappointments, essentially the process that we followed was, as we do every year, we send out requests for reappointment letters, and in order to be reappointed, the resident must send that letter back to us, signed that they are interested. And we did receive response from everybody, and then there were two people who are interested in serving on the 250th committee. So the 250th committee recommended these two folks who are on the second page. I believe it's Melissa Handy or Melissa Hardy, and I forget the gentleman's
Thomas
name.
Thomas Tuttle.
Thomas Tuttle. I knew it was a Tuttle.
Doug Martin, is he still on the planning board, or has he stepped off the planning board?
Yeah, he's still on it.
To be on the steering committee, and the planning board's already got a major role in that, is that
Right, so,
redundant, or is it?
well, the planning board legally, Mass General Law, they legally oversee the master plan, but they
Right.
still need a representative on the plan, master plan committee, so, just as the select board will need a representative, because
Okay.
it just wouldn't make sense for the whole planning board to go to every meeting.
Just making sure it wasn't.
Yeah.
Redundant.
We're still waiting on some other boards to be represented, but we have at least some interest, and I would, I know that John Dixon had expressed interest to me on serving on the master plan steering committee, so I don't know if you wanna hold off on the board's recommendation on who is appointed to that board, but.
I'll start with I'll make a motion to approve the FY23 annual appointments, the list that's brought to us, reappointing those that have served previously.
I will second that. Those in favor? Aye.
Make a motion that we appoint Melissa Handy and Thomas Tuttle to the 250th Anniversary Committee.
I will second that motion. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I make a motion that we appoint Doug Martin, Chris Higgins, and Paul Cranston to the Master Plan Steering Committee.
And seek a volunteer from the select board to also participate?
We're already seeking that, so I'm just making a motion for those three.
Yeah, okay. I would second that motion.
Thank you.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
In due time.
Then we have the Colebrook RV and Resort looking for seasonal liquor license and common vitular.
I will ask my normal question, how are they standing on their water bill?
Their water bill?
They're up to date.
'Cause
Yeah.
typically they'd let it go for the whole year, that'd be
Yeah. Oh, yes,
20,000
no.
and
Yeah,
behind,
no,
so
no,
that's
no.
the only
Yeah.
time we get them to pay it, so they do this, so.
Yep,
No, we checked that.
Just making sure.
So is their liquor license approved, or is this just a shift from one holder to the other?
It's both.
Okay,
Yeah, it's both.
so it's been through the state already, no, we're all.
Right, so we made sure prior to
Bring-
bringing this to the public hearing a couple of weeks ago, to change their manager, that they were paid up to date on their taxes and everything.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, 'cause we did that, what, 3 months ago?
No, it was last month? Was
No.
it last month when they did their change of manager?
No.
I think
When all
I
said and
mean,
done.
June.
Maybe in June, yeah. 2
June.
months
June
ago.
wasn't last month anymore.
I know, too
Well, I'll
bad.
make a motion to approve Camp Colebrook RV Resort Common Vic license.
I would second that motion. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll make a motion to approve Colebrook RV Resort LLC seasonal hotel inn holder and all alcohol license.
Would second that? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do all three of us need to sign this?
Ye-
These two.
Two.
Yes.
Now,
Well,
the
I
other-
mean, as
no,
long as
He
two
can
of
sign
you.
it. You
Those
can
are
sign
your
it later.
copies, I have the originals here.
Okay.
Can you sign
Oh,
off
okay.
on them? I have all the-
Alrighty. Other business, old business? I think the only thing that we have is an old business item that we'll need to go into executive session for under Mass General Law, Section 30A, 21A, to conduct strategy in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel, specifically the lieutenant on the police force. I would need a motion to go into executive session.
Last chance, anyone, before we go? Make a motion, we enter executive session, Mass General Law, Chapter 30, Section 21A, Chapter 30A, Section 21A, to conduct strategy in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel, specifically lieutenant. We will return to open session only to adjourn.
I would second that motion. Roll call.
O'Sullivan, yes?
Marshall, yes.